Hello everyone and welcome. With the addition of even more top tier fighters in a last update like the Su-17M2, the Mirage 3E, and the F-5A just to name a few, I always like to go back and reevaluate some of the other aircraft I already have and see if they're still worth the grind today. Power creep is a real issue in this game, and grinding time investment is no joke. So I want to give you a quick review on the J35 in the current meta. As a side note, it's never been a better time to grind out your top tier jets. People are just slaughtering the F4Fs, as you'll see in the gameplay video. The J35D debuted in March 2020 with the Viking Fury update, and was initially kind of lackluster if I'm remembering correctly because it did not have the RB24Js, just the RB24s. This led many people to grind out the jet and then pretty much park it in the hangar. It saw a resurgence though when it got the RB24Js. Since then, I can't say that the jet has aged well. It doesn't have semi-active radar homing missiles. It has no flares or chaff. No radar warning receiver. Other aircraft such as the F-4E and MiG-21 BIS have only gotten better, and the J-35D has remained somewhat stagnant while still at 10.7. Its one advantage, being super maneuverable, cannot overcome all the other advantages jets like the Mirage 3E, F-4E and EJ, FGR-2 and FG-1 and the MiG-21 BIS have. So does this mean that the J-35 is useless? No, far from that. It's just relegated to second string, but you can still have some really good games in the Draken. You just have to play smart. You have to be the king of opportunistic engagements. You cannot bulldoze your way to a win because your one advantage, maneuverability, doesn't matter 90% of the time. But I mean, it is beautiful when you can get the Draken's nose on a target in a 1v1 and send the enemy plummeting into the ground. But most of the time you won't be able to do that, because someone else will rudely interrupt your engagement and just kill you. The best way to play the Draken is, you guessed it, as a support fighter. It excels in this role, and low-level flanking seems to be the best tactic for the J-35. At the start of a match, offset to any side of the map and fly at low level, mostly to avoid sparrows. Continue to flank the enemy, and then when they start to engage your teammates, pop up and missile as many unsuspecting enemies from the rear as you can. Try to avoid extended engagements with too many enemies around, because when the Draken gets slow, you are in severe danger. So, the bottom line here is that the J-35 can still be a fun plane, but it is mostly a support fighter as you lack the tools to take the fight to the enemy on your own terms. One of the advantages of grinding the J-35 though is that right now the Swedish aviation tree is somewhat small, and it can be a fast way to get a 10.7 jet. With the J-32B Lansen being moved back to 9.7, the grind to the Draken is not as painful as before, and the J-29F is a somewhat bright spot in the lineup. I really enjoyed flying that plane. But overall, if I had to do the grind all over again in the current meta, I wouldn't bother with the Draken. There are much better fighters at 10.7. However, if you need a ground pounder to support your Swedish top tier tanks, consider getting the A-32 or the J-29D if you have money to spend on a premium, or even the Saab 105s instead. At the very least, those planes can save you time and sweat. Hopefully Gaijin has something in the works for top tier Sweden, and we're perhaps getting a J-35F or even a Viggen pretty soon. That would be great. But as always, thank you for watching. If you like what you saw in this video, please drop a like or a subscribe, or both. It really helps the channel out. And I'll see you in a future video. Thank you.